Today's Thursday. My goal for Saturday morning's weigh-in is supposed to be 186.4. 186 on the dot, 3 days early.
So we got a new friend here.
Wait, start over, I wasn't, okay, and go.
We got a new friend here at the bench, Mr. New Bench Pad. This thing's got some serious grip on it. It is a fat pad, and it is, but it's not the fat pad 14 inches, it's the competition specs. Thank you, Mr. Brandon Campbell Diamond, for hooking this up. Appreciate it, and it's gonna get put to good use.
Did you just assume that pad's gender?
Oh shit. Ready? 1, 2. Come on. Sorry, come on. Push it up. Good. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yours. Come on.
2 times my body weight bench at a lower body weight. That's pretty awesome. And I wasn't even thinking about it going into it. I was just like, all right, 375, I've done this before, let's do it again. But I weighed in at 186. 2 times exactly would be 372. So this is just a hair over that. And actually, pound for pound, that is the same thing as when I benched 405 back at 200 pounds body weight. And of course, lighter body weights, there's like the Wilks and all that, but still, pretty damn cool. And this is, I forget what week this is, we have like 2 more weeks of this peak.
Come on, let's go. Let's go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Alright, so one of the comments I get most frequently lately after I post a heavy bench or heavy lift is, are you still training for power? I haven't seen one hypertrophy workout. You should train like a bodybuilder and do sets of 10. I have shown in almost every single video full hypertrophy workouts. I do a heavy single to start off the workout. It's better for warming up. And then the whole rest of the workout's bodybuilding. I do sets of 10 on the incline dumbbell press. I do the pec deck sets of 12. Then I do shoulders ranging anywhere from as low as 8 to as high as 25 reps, depending on what I'm doing. Just watch the videos, guys. I just keep strength in the mix on top of hypertrophy because why not do both? So shoulder issues. I've been having a shoulder issue with my right shoulder recently, but it's not like a direct rotator cuff issue. It's anterior pain. It's the same thing I always deal with after a while of benching and stuff. It's pain that you feel more like in your collarbone and like around the shoulder as opposed to directly in the shoulder, and you feel it down to like radiate into your elbow and forearm sometimes. And what it 90% of the time comes from is your bicep tendon actually getting like really tight. Your whole bicep tightens up because your bicep goes up and it loops around the humerus. So that gets tight and it starts pulling the humerus this way, and then you want your arm to be in the very back of the socket. That's where it's the strongest. It starts pulling it towards the front, away from the back of that socket. And that causes issues. It causes muscular imbalances because now everything's pulling this way, so your whole posture's gonna become like this. It makes it harder to get into an upright overhead position, and even a bench position. And then when you do have weight on it, it's harder to retract the muscles now because they're all tight and pulled forward. And you have more slack and space in the joint now because it's pulled forward. It's not in the back of that socket, and that's where all the pain starts to come from, around the shoulder. And Dan Mackler sent me this video that he received from his coach, Mark McQueen, shout out to Mark. And this video, I'll link it in the info box below for you guys, but it's a really good video. He goes into these exercises in depthly that really helped me. I started doing these exercises, and within just a few days, like the first time I did the exercises, I immediately felt pain relief. Like I just felt no more pressure on my shoulder, it felt great. And just a few days later, I was actually able to bench. I thought I was gonna have to skip this week of benching because of how much it was starting to hurt, but it felt great today. So here's the first one. First thing you're doing is we're taking the pressure off the muscles and tendons. So find a mini band, wrap your hand around it, wow, and you just pull it behind your back, like so. Pull it up this way, and hold it like that. And you wanna try to keep the chest upright like this. You don't wanna let it fold over. When you're tight in this area, you're gonna wanna fold over and cave it over more. So that's what we wanna avoid. We wanna force all that pressure off the tendons and just loosen up the bicep, loosen up the shoulder. And hold this for like about 2 minutes or so. So you should feel some instant relief actually just from that one band exercise alone. Like as soon as you let down your arm, be like, wow, it just feels a lot less tighter. You don't feel like so much pressure up here. Now that we've loosened up the muscles and allowed it to have more mobility, now we want to force the humerus, the arm, into the back of that socket where it should be again, because again the muscles got tight and they're slowly working it towards the front, which is not good. So in the video, the man used a kettlebell. You can use either one. I find dumbbells to be just a little more comfortable to hold on to, but whatever floats your boat. Take like a heavier pound dumbbell. For me, I use like a 50-pound dumbbell. In the video, he says you can go as high as 70 if you want. You just want something that's gonna allow you to put some pressure down on your arm. With a very straight, extended arm directly over your center of gravity, you just wanna hold it in a locked out position like this. Lightly retract your scapula, and this is going to force your arm into the very back of that shoulder socket again where it should be. And sleeping can actually cause this issue as well. I found it was a combination of just training without doing proper mobility exercises and sleeping. I was sleeping on it pretty harshly too. So you just hold this for ideally 2 minutes. It does get a little tiring if you can only hold it for a minute. Anything's better than nothing, but it just really forces that arm back into its rightful position in the back of that socket. Last but not least, step 3 is overhead, doing the same exact thing we just talked about, but in an overhead position. And again, this is now, after those 2 exercises, you should be able to get into a proper overhead position. When you're really tight, which I am because I just finished training, I'm about to do these exercises again. But when you're really tight, you're gonna be more like this, trying to go overhead. It's hard to get in that position. When you loosen up optimally, you should be able to get your shoulders into a nice upright position while keeping your torso pretty straight up and down. And as you can see, I'm having a little bit of a hard time right now doing it myself, which is why I definitely need to keep doing these. So with these, I'm using a 30-pound dumbbell, whatever you can use that's a moderate amount of weight to put pressure, but not gonna be so heavy that you're dying and shaking. You wanna hold them close together. I keep a neutral grip, and you wanna flex the glutes, keep the torso as straight as possible, and try to get those arms over the direct center of you. You don't want them in front of you like this, center, like a snatch grip almost, but narrow. And the narrow grip is to avoid using your muscles. You're not trying to get a muscle pump here. It's strictly just to put pressure on the actual arm itself. And again, hold these for about 2 minutes. I can't straighten my elbows, which is how I'm built. So those 3 exercises are great. The first one takes the pressure off the muscles. Second one puts the arm in the back of the socket. And the third one hammers it home by putting it in the back of the socket from the upward position. So you should be feeling pretty damn good at this point now. You're able to get a better retraction, stay grounded more. The final step, which he did not cover, but I love, is rolling. Use a lacrosse ball or any similar ball and roll the crap out of your traps right down into underneath your scapula. You want to get in the groove of that shoulder blade all the way down onto the side where your lat is. And I just lay on the ball, and you don't even need to go back and forth like when you foam roll. You can literally just, if you find a spot that's tight, lay on it, let it just dig in for a minute. And then gradually just work your way down. If you feel a spot that's tight, you can slowly move up and down it. But you're just basically deep tissue massaging the scapula area and the trap area, because you don't think about it, but that's another area that causes a lot of issues. You're constantly using your scapula and retracting and using your traps. You do it when you retract for a press, you use them indirectly when you do deadlifts. I mean, everything, when you squat, when you do pull-ups, they're constantly being used. So those muscles are constantly getting worked. They're tight as hell. That's why massages up in the trap area feel so damn good. You're always tight. But what happens is they get so damn tight that you can't even retract them. You lose mobility there. So when you have really tight traps, tight teres, tight everything in that upper back region, you're trying your hardest to retract and get tight, and you may not feel fully retracted. You may feel like you're still feeling it in your shoulders in a way you don't want to be feeling it. It's because you physically can't retract as well because you're too tight. So this loosens that up, allows for full retraction, and then the exercises I just showed you loosen your bicep tendon up, allows that joint to move freely, and keeps your joint in the very back of the socket where it should be, nice and healthy. And I felt such a tremendous difference just from doing this. So I'm doing these twice a day. I do them before every workout and after every workout. And on rest days, I still try to pop in and get them done. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned because I will hopefully have this bench press ebook done for you guys in the very, very, very near future. Fingers crossed. And I can't wait. I cannot wait for you guys to see it. I think it's gonna help a lot of people out. So give the video a thumbs up if this helped or you just enjoyed it, and stay tuned for next week.